Good morning. I'm Dr. Wilson Paul, Associate Professor, Department of Corporate Secretaryship of KCS Kasaragod College of Arts and Science. Now, we are going to see the turnover ratios. There are so many turnover ratios here. The first one, we have already done stock turnover ratio, debtors turnover ratio, creditors turnover ratio. Now we are going to see fixed asset turnover ratio, capital turnover ratio, and these are the two shareholder turnover ratio we're going to see. Then next one we're going to see long-term solvency ratio, and as well as short-term. We'll see one by one now. We'll see turnover ratio first. Fixed asset turnover ratio. The formula for fixed asset turnover ratio is cost of goods sold or sales by fixed asset. Then capital turnover ratio is sales or cost of sales by capital employed. Okay. Now here the shareholders fund is equal to capital employed plus net worth equal to net worth or proprietary fund or owner's equity. So all the three means, all the four means one and the same. Okay, when you say capital employed, it's nothing but shareholders fund. Okay, then the shareholders fund and equity shareholders fund. There are two types of funds are there. Shareholders fund means preference shares included in that. Okay, equity share, preference share, and reserves and surplus. Now, if it is only equity shareholders fund, then it will have equity share capital plus reserves and surplus. That's all. You don't have preference shares in it. Okay. Next, then your long-term solvency ratio. For long-term solvency ratio, the formula will be there are four types of long-term solvency ratios. Okay. The formula for that one by one we'll see. It is a debt equity ratio. First, it's a long-term debt by shareholders fund. Okay, we know what is the long-term debt. Debentures, bank loan, mortgage loan are called as long-term debt. The shareholders fund I already told you. Then fixed asset turnover ratio. Fixed asset ratio is not fixed asset turnover ratio, it is fixed asset ratio. The formula for that will be fixed asset by long-term fund. The long-term fund, the breakup is given down there. Long-term fund is nothing but share capital plus reserve surplus plus long-term loan minus fictitious asset. So that is what is called as long-term fund. Okay. Then proprietary ratio. Shareholders fund divided by total tangible assets. So that is what is called as proprietary ratio. For total tangible asset, the formula is given there down. Total tangible asset is equal to total asset minus intangible asset minus fictitious asset. Okay, that is the formula for total tangible asset. Then capital gearing ratio, long-term loan plus debenture plus preference shares, the whole divided by equity shareholders fund. So that is what is called capital gearing ratio. Okay, now let us see some sums with these ratios. Okay, the first, here you are going to do a balance sheet now. Here from the following information you are required to prepare a balance sheet. The ratio, the data given here are current ratio 1.75, liquid ratio 1.25, stock turnover ratio 9. That is the formula for that is given as cost of sales by closing stock. Normally stock turnover ratio will be cost of sales by average stock. Okay, here this specifically given as cost of sales by closing stock. Okay, in which case you don't use average stock here. Okay, gross profit is equal to 25%. Then debt collection period is 1.5. The reserves and surplus to capital is 0.2. Then fixed asset turnover ratio is on cost of sales here. Okay, it is not sales. When it's specifically given, you have to use that only. Okay, 1.2 times. Then capital gearing ratio, long-term debt to shareholder fund. Okay, so the long-term debt 2, the 2 here refers is nothing but divide. Okay, long-term debt divided by share capital. That is what is called capital gearing ratio here. Okay, but we normally have a different formula for that. But we don't use that formula. When the problem is directly gives you a certain formula to use, you use that formula only. Okay. Here the capital gearing ratio says long-term debt by share capital loan. Okay. So you use only that formula here. Then fixed asset to net worth is 1.5. Whenever you come across 2, it is nothing but divided by. So here in 2 places you have seen, 3 places you have seen. One is reserves and surplus to capital, which means reserves divided by capital. The next place we saw here capital gearing ratio, long-term debt to share capital, which means long-term debt divided by share capital. The next one we saw fixed asset to net worth, which means fixed asset divided by net worth is equal to 1.25. Then sales for the year is given as 12 lakh. So this is the data given here in the sum. We'll see the answer now. The next page. Now, since it is given as stock turnover, since the sales is given here as 12 lakh, We'll start with the stock. We'll start with the sales now. When sales is 12 lakh and 25% is gross profit, it is given in the sum. Therefore, 12 lakh into 25% will be 3 lakh. That is your gross profit. Therefore, my cost of goods sold will be sales minus GP. That is 12 lakh minus 3 lakh is 9 lakh. Then stock turnover ratio is given as 9 times. The formula for that is also given there. We saw that no cost of goods sold divided by not average stock. Here it is only closing stock. If the problem specifically says you have to use this, you have to use that only. We cannot use the old formula. Okay. Okay. If nothing is given, you can use it. Here the problem specifically says use closing stock. Okay. Therefore, now next line 9 is equal to cost of goods sold. We know 9 lakh. So 9 is equal to 9 lakh by X, which should mean closing stock will be 1 lakh. Okay. Next. Here. Now we are going to see debtors collection period. Debtors collection period is given as 1.5 months. I told you earlier itself. When it is given in month, you'll convert it into times first. Therefore, since it is given in month, you'll use only month, not days in this formula. So you'll use only month here. Normally, we have two choices there. Either you can use month or you can use days. Since it is given in month, we'll use only month. We will not use the days here. Okay. Therefore, 1.5 is equal to 12 divided by debtors turnover ratio. Okay, which is equal to 12 divided by 1.5 is equal to 8 times. Okay. Now, debtors turnover ratio is equal to 8 times. Then formula for that will be, since the problem didn't say anything, we can use it directly. Credit sales by average receivable. Therefore, credit sales we know it is 12 lakh. By average, we don't know what it is. So therefore, we will use X here. Therefore, average receivable is equal to 12 lakh by 8, which will be 1,50,000. That is your, since opening closing nothing is given, we take it as closing debtors. Okay. Now, calculation of current asset and current liability. So the current asset ratio is given as 1.75, which means current asset by current liability is equal to 1.75, which means here we assume, let us assume the current liability is 1. Okay, then current asset divided by current liability is equal to 1.75 divided by 1. In which case, we are assuming current liability to be 1 here. Okay, when you assume current liability to be 1, therefore the current asset will be 1.75 and current liability will be 1. Okay, next page. Now, therefore, we know what is current ratio. Now we'll go to the liquid ratio now. Liquid ratio again is here. Liquid asset by current liability. Since we don't have bank overdraft, therefore we'll use only current liability. So 1.5 divided by 1 is equal to liquid ratio. That is liquid asset by current liability. Okay. We know the current liability is 1. Liquid asset is 1.25. Therefore, we know current liability is 1 and liquid asset is 1.25. Okay. Therefore, the formula for stock. We know the formula for liquid asset. What is the formula for liquid asset? Current asset minus stock. Okay. Therefore, I am using that formula here. Current asset minus stock is liquid asset. Therefore, stock will be current asset minus liquid asset. That's what I am using here. Which is 1.75 minus 1.25 will give me 0.5. If 0.5 is 1 lakh, we already know what is stock value, isn't it? We already found the value of stock. The stock is 1 lakh. Therefore, if 0.5, which is given in the sum here by the calculation, is equal to 1 lakh, that is closing stock value is 0.5. What will be for 1.5? So 1.5 naturally it has 1.75. 1.75 naturally it has to be 3,50,000. Then what will be for current liability 1? It will be 2 lakh. Okay, we are substituting here. That's it. Then we know what is current asset. We know what is current liability. We know what is stock. We know what is debtors. Okay. In total, we say current asset is 3,50,000. Out of 3,50,000, we know stock is 1 lakh. We know debtors is 1,50,000. What is the remainder then? We know the total current asset is 3,50,000. Out of 3,50,000, stock is there, debtors is there. Okay, what will be the remainder then? Remainder is 1 lakh. Because stock, debtors, everything put together only is called as current asset. Is that clear? The stock, debtors, and cash, bank, BR, everything put together is called as current asset. Therefore, we know the total value of 3,50,000 minus stock minus debtors will give me other current assets. That is 1 lakh. Is it clear? Next slide. Now, fixed asset turnover ratio is given as 1.2. The problem is you have to use only cost of sale. So cost of sale we know it is 9 lakh by x is equal to 1.2. What will be the value of x now? So 9 lakh divided by 1.2 will give me 7,50,000. That is the value of x. That is the fixed asset value. Okay. Now calculation of capital and reserves. So we know the fixed asset to net worth. The formula is given there in the sum. Fixed asset to net worth. I told you no. Whenever you come across 2, it is nothing but divide. So here the fixed asset divided by net worth is equal to 1.25. I know the value of fixed asset, that is 7,50,000 divided by net worth, I don't know, x is equal to 1.25. Therefore x will be 6 lakh, that is net worth. Okay, net worth, I told you no, net worth is nothing but shareholders fund, that is capital and reserves and surplus. Okay, so we can divide that now. We'll go to the next slide now. Now we know it is a net worth. We found net worth is nothing but shareholder fund, capital plus reserves. Okay, the problem says capital to reserves, reserves to capital is 0.2. Okay, which means capital is 1, reserve is 0.2. You got it? Whenever you come across 2, what I told you now, in this case reserves divided by capital is equal to 0.2, which means reserve will be 0.2 and capital will be 1. Okay, reserve will be 0.2 and capital will be 1. Okay, we know the shareholder fund to be 6 lakh. Okay, 6 lakh is nothing but 1 plus 0.2 together is called as 6 lakh. Therefore, we divide that in ratio. Okay, if it is 3:2, what do? 3 by 5 and 2 by 5. Therefore, here it is 1 is to 0.2. Okay, when it is 1 is to 0.2, what do? 6 lakh into 1 by 1.2 and 6 lakh divided by into 0.2 by 1.2. Okay, here which means 5 lakh will be your capital and reserves will be 1 lakh. Okay, now next one, capital gearing ratio is given in the sum as long-term debt by share capital. Okay, we don't know what is the long-term debt, but we know the share capital. So x divided by share capital is 5 lakh is equal to 0.6. So what will be the value of x now? Long-term debt is nothing but 3 lakh. Okay, next we'll go to the next page. So once we know everything, we have to just fill it up in the formula. We know capital 5 lakh, we know reserves 1 lakh, the total is net worth 6 lakh, long term debt we found as 3 lakh, current liability we know it is 2 lakh, and fixed asset is 7,50,000. From the stock we know 1 lakh and 1,50,000 is debtors, the remaining is 1 lakh. Actually, the total current asset is 3,50,000. Okay, the 3,50,000 is divided in this way. We know stock is 1 lakh and 150 is debtors, the remaining is other current asset. Okay, so therefore the balance sheet will tally now. It will be 111 lakh on both sides. Okay, that's it. We'll go to the next slide now. Next, from the following given ratio figures and prepare a summarized balance sheet of XYZ company. Okay, the working capital is given as 60,000, reserves and capital is 40,000. So reserves and surplus is 40,000. Bank overdraft 10,000, fixed asset to property ratio is 0.5, current ratio is 2.5, liquid ratio is 1.5. There is no long-term loan or fictitious asset. The problem is there is no long-term loan or fictitious asset. Okay, now we'll start with the capital now. We'll say working capital. Working capital, whenever we are given working capital, what you do? Whenever we are given working capital, we'll start with current ratio. That is the easy way. Okay, now current ratio is equal to current asset by current liability. Now working capital formula will be current asset minus current liability. Okay, I will see that now. Here, so current asset minus current liability is working capital. Okay, therefore current ratio is equal to current asset divided by current liability, which is equal to 2.5. Therefore, when current asset is 2.5, therefore current liability will be 1. That is the assumption, isn't it? Therefore 2.5 minus 1 will give 1.5. That will be the working capital. If 1.5 is 60,000, what will be for 2.5? Therefore, there is a cross multiply here. Therefore, 2.5 into 60,000 divided by 1.5 will give me 1 lakh, which is the current asset. Now, therefore, working capital is equal to 1 lakh minus x is equal to 60,000. Okay. Therefore, x will be 40,000. That is your current liability. So now liquid ratio, liquid asset by current liability. We know current liability. So liquid ratio is equal to liquid asset by current liability is equal to 1.5. That is X divided by 40,000 is equal to 1.5. Therefore, X is equal to 40,000 into 1.5. That is 60,000. Therefore, quick asset is equal to current asset minus stock. We know what is the current asset here. 60,000 is equal to 1 lakh minus X. Therefore, the stock will be 40,000. Okay. Now, shareholders fund. The problem says shareholders fund to fixed asset is 0.75. Okay. Shareholders fund to fixed asset is given as 0.75. Okay. Therefore, now let us assume the shareholders fund will be X. Okay. I told you long back. The balance sheet is divided into 3 categories. That is shareholders fund, liability side, long-term debt, then current liability. The same way, fixed asset, current asset, and fictitious asset. So these are the 3 left-hand side and right-hand side values. Okay. The problem says there is no long-term debt and there is no fictitious asset. Therefore, you have only 2 values. That is, left-hand side will be shareholders fund plus current liability. Right-hand side will be fixed asset plus current asset. We don't have fictitious asset. Okay. Therefore, the problem says the long-term debt is given as 40,000. Is it so? No. Long-term debt is 0. Here the current liability is 40,000. Therefore, X plus current liability is equal to 0.75X plus 1 lakh. Therefore, X minus 0.75X is equal to 1 lakh minus 40,000. Therefore, X is nothing but we assume it is 1. Whenever you come across X, it is nothing but 1. 1 minus 0.75X will give you 0.25X is equal to 60,000. Therefore, X is equal to 60,000 divided by 0.25. That is 2,40,000. Now, the value of X will be 2,40,000. That is shareholders fund. Once I know shareholders fund, we can find the fixed asset. That is 0.75 into X. That is 2,40,000. Therefore, my fixed asset will be 1,80,000. Okay. Is it clear? And we know shareholders fund means reserves and capital together is called as shareholders fund. The capital and reserve together is called as shareholders fund. Therefore, 2,40,000 is shareholders fund. That is 2,40,000 is equal to X plus 40,000. 40,000 is reserve which is given in the sum. Therefore, X will be the 2 lakh. That is the capital. So once you know everything, we'll substitute in the balance sheet now. Next page. The next slide. So look here. I know capital 2 lakh, 40,000 surplus. Long-term debt is nil. I know current liability is 40,000. Out of that, 10,000 is bank OD. The remaining is 30,000. Then fixed assets is 1,80,000 I know. Then current asset. Out of the current asset, stock I know 40,000. Then remaining current asset is 1 lakh. The fictitious is nil. Therefore, the balance sheet total on both sides will be 2,80,000. Okay. Next. And this is some you can try by yourself also. Assume that firm has owner's equity as 1 lakh. The ratio of the firms are given current debt to total debt. Look here. Whenever you come across 2, I told you what is the formula you should use now here. Current debt to total debt means current debt divided by total debt is equal to 0.4. Okay. Then 0.4 is nothing but 0.4. Then total debt to owner's equity. 2. Once again 2 here. In that case, what will be the formula here? Total debt divided by owner equity is equal to 0.6. Then fixed asset to owner equity. Okay, 2 means divided by. So how will you frame the formula now? Fixed asset divided by owner equity is equal to 0.6. Then total asset turnover is equal to 2 times. Then inventory turnover ratio is equal to 8 times. Okay, so the problem gives that rupees 1 lakh is your equity. Owner equity is nothing but it is given here. So when you know owner's equity, so which means X divided by owner equity is equal to 0.6. Okay. When you substitute here, X divided by owner equity is equal to 0.6. What is the value you will get now? So you will get the total debt. Total debt is nothing but current debt and current liability together. It's called as total debt. Okay. Now, next, once you know the total debt, we substitute here in the first case. Current debt to total debt is equal to 0.4. When you substitute the total debt here, we'll get the current debt here. So current debt will be 24,000. Okay. Then, so which means the remaining will be long-term debt. Is that clear? The next one, fixed asset to owner's equity. We know owner's equity, so we don't know fixed asset. So X divided by owner equity is equal to 0.6. So what will be the value of X now? Fixed asset is equal to 60,000. Then asset turnover ratio. So we know that what is the total liability here? The total liability will be the total asset as well, isn't it? So we will use this 1,60,000. Okay. Then current inventory turnover ratio. Inventory is nothing but stock turnover ratio. Okay. So that's it. Your balance sheet is tallying. Okay. We go to the next slide now. These are sums you can work out yourself. You can take it as a homework here. This sum as well as the next sum. You can try it as a homework. We'll see in the next class. Thank you.